I now call up H.R. 3863, the VA Mental Health Outreach and Engagement Act. The clerk shall report the bill.
H.R.
The bill was
38.
circulated in advance and pursuant to committee rules. Without objection, the first reading is dispensed with, and the bill is open for amendment at any point. I now recognize Representative Budzinski for the purpose of offering an amendment in the nature of a substitute.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment at the desk.
Clerk shall report the amendment in the nature of a substitute.
Budzinski
I ask
amendment.
unanimous consent that further reading of the amendment in the nature of a substitute be dispensed with, and I asked that it be considered base text for the purpose of this markup, and without objection, so order. I now recognize Representative Budzinski for her 5 minutes to speak in support of the amendment in the nature of a substitute.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My amendment clarifies the types and numbers of contact attempts VA must do, and it requires VA to report on the most effective contact types and contract rates. I want to thank Congressman Chuck Edwards for co-leading on this bipartisan bill. I'm also grateful to have the support of the Disabled American Veterans, the American Psychiatric Association, and the USAA, which have all endorsed this bill. As a member of this committee, I've heard from veterans unaware of where to turn for support and care for the invisible wounds of war. My bill, H.R. 3863, the VA Mental Health Outreach and Engagement Act, would expand VA's outreach to veterans about mental health services. We must support our veterans and provide them with the knowledge and resources to prosper following their service to our nation. My bill would ensure we are proactively reaching out to veterans with mental health-related service-connected disabilities and connecting them with the care that they need. Navigating the VA should never be a burden. And this bipartisan legislation will help make it easier for veterans to get the mental health care that they've earned. I urge my colleagues to support this clarifying amendment and the bill as amended. Thank you, and I yield back.
The gentlelady yields back. I now recognize myself in support of the amendment. Representative Budzinski bill would build on our work by requiring VA to offer a mental health consultation to veterans who receive disability compensation for a mental health diagnosis. For a veteran dealing with mental health issues, this bill would unify the two sides of VA, the benefit side and the health side. It makes sense for VA to check in on these veterans. I thank Representative Budzinski for her proposal. And do any other members wish to comment on the amendment in the nature of substitute to H.R. 3863? Seeing none. Are there any amendments to the amendment in the nature of substitute for H.R. 3863?
Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment at the desk.
I now recognize Representative Budzinski to offer the amendment, and
This
clerk will
amendment-
report.
Budzinski amendment number 1. Amendment to the amendment. In the
I ask unanimous consent that further reading of the amendment is dispensed with, and without objection, so ordered. The gentlelady is recognized for 5 minutes to explain her amendment.
This amendment adds a pay-for this crucial legislation using the home loan fees offset. I urge my colleagues to support the amendment. Thank you, and I yield back.
I recognize the lady yields back, and I recognize myself to speak on the amendment. I would like to thank my colleague from Illinois for this amendment, which fully offsets her legislation. I'm confident that my staff will work closely with yours to identify the ways to reduce the preliminary score of this legislation. Does any other member seek to make comment on the amendment? Mr. Sell.
Mr. Chairman, just a clarifying question. This is mandatory spending. I just want to make sure that the offsets mandatory spending, just to clarify. Because mandatory spending is where our deficit and debt are growing the most.
Let me get an answer for you exactly. Yes, it is. It's mandatory.
Thank you. No, the offset's mandatory.
The offset's mandatory.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Seeing none, the question now occurs on agreeing to the Budzinski amendment in the nature of a substitute for H.R. 3863. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the amendment is agreed to. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. Are there any further amendments to the amendment in the nature of a substitute for H.R. 3863? Hearing none. The question now occurs on agreeing to the amendment in the nature of a substitute for H.R. 3863 as amended. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The amendment is, in the nature of a substitute, is agreed to. The motion to reconsider is laid on the table. I now recognize Ranking Member Takano for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that H.R. 3863 as amended be favorably reported to the House.
The question is on favorably reporting H.R. 3863 as amended to the full House. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to, and H.R. 3863 as amended is reported favorably to the House. The motion to reconsider is laid on the table. Ranking Member.
Mr. Chairman, pursuant to House Rule 11, Clause 2, I give notice of intent to file minority, supplemental, additional, or dissenting views on H.R. 3400 as amended. And congratulations to my colleague, Ms. Budzinski.
Without objection.